You'll be hard-pressed to find someone more upbeat and positive than Matthew Gray Gubler, which makes it even more tragic that he was diagnosed with a rare health disorder. Few knew it at the time, but when Gubler started Criminal Minds in 2005, he had a major health scare. While filming, he was diagnosed with a condition called achalasia.
It's like a weird thing where your throat won't open. And so for like 20... Yeah, wow. Like that. For 26 days, I couldn't swallow anything.
Gubler wasn't exaggerating. Achalasia makes swallowing food almost impossible. Jason Singh, MD, Chief Medical Officer and Physician at One Oak Medical, explained that achalasia either develops when the esophageal sphincter fails to open when food arrives, or when the esophagus fails to move food along to the stomach. In both instances, patients are unable to swallow. Singh said, "How I describe achalasia is to just imagine trying to push food through a straw that doesn't want to open at the bottom." If you've never heard of achalasia, you're not alone. Gubler was the statistical 1 out of every 100,000 U.S. citizens who get diagnosed with the rare disease annually. The symptoms are wildly unpleasant, to put it mildly, and it's a wonder Gubler managed to continue filming. On top of the trouble swallowing food, patients may also experience food and even their saliva pushing back up from their esophagus. This can eventually lead to vomiting and other complications, like food ending up in the lungs, which can lead to pneumonia. Unfortunately, Gubler's achalasia diagnosis also means he's statistically more likely to develop esophageal cancer than someone who doesn't have the disease. It's hard to say how severe Gubler's symptoms were or how long he dealt with the condition. Outside of his 2012 interview with Craig Ferguson, he hasn't said much about it. Even the condition itself is something of a mystery. Johns Hopkins Medicine explains that doctors are more or less baffled about what causes it and have yet to figure out why some people develop it. There are some treatment options, but so far there's no cure, and patients often need to take steps to manage their symptoms for the rest of their lives. As the Mayo Clinic explains, any damage achalasia does to the esophagus is irreversible, and medical intervention and treatments are often required to ensure patients can continue to live normal lives. Thankfully, Gubler's achalasia doesn't appear to have impacted his career. He starred in 15 seasons of Criminal Minds, has made multiple film appearances in the years since his diagnosis, and has maintained his positive, upbeat persona through it all.
What does it feel like to hold a fart in so long that you start to cry?
But experts say things could have been much worse. Because achalasia can cause gastroesophageal reflux disease, it can affect the vocal cords. When stomach acid continues to come into contact with the vocal cords, they can become irritated and inflamed, and in some instances, sustain permanent damage. That can lead to chronic laryngitis, and patients could end up with a hoarse voice, difficulty speaking loud, and trouble enunciating their words. All things that can be a career killer for actors, especially for a fast-talking character like Spencer Reid.
The interchange between the 405 and the 101 freeways is consistently rated the worst interchange in the entire world.
Why do you know that?
Jason Singh, MD, told The List that achalasia can also cause people to feel the need to clear their throat repeatedly, which puts strain on the vocal cords and leads to hoarseness. As Singh explained, it's certainly a testament to Gubler's talent and perseverance that he's had such a successful acting career while managing this. Achalasia isn't the only health issue Gubler has had to deal with over the course of his acting career. While on a press tour for 500 Days of Summer, Gubler severely injured his knee. He told Who's News, "I just got a little too overzealous on the dance floor and managed to pretty much do something that most knee surgeons have never even thought possible or seen in their lives. I just basically dismantled the knee to the point where they were talking about experimental surgeries in Norway."
Hey, how was your weekend?
Scary yet informative.
After his multiple surgeries, Gubler had strict instructions to refrain from anything resembling dancing or running, with the latter being a particularly tricky problem, since his character's job was to chase after criminals. So, faced with a 7-month recovery time, the writers on Criminal Minds had to think up a quick plot twist for why Dr. Spencer Reid was suddenly hobbling around on crutches. Their solution was to have him get shot in the leg at the beginning of the 5th season. Gubler initially thought the injury would have a minimal effect on his work in Criminal Minds, but ended up having to walk on crutches for 12 episodes.
What's this?
You told me you were clear to travel. You lied.
Naughty boy.
No, I didn't. I am a doctor, so technically it wasn't a lie.
Speaking to Who's News, Gubler said the show's creators didn't seem to be able to grasp the damage he'd done to his knee. He said, "It was funny. They didn't really seem to believe me. No one believes I could have done what I did. I think to the day that people at Criminal Minds have honestly no understanding of what kind of injury it was." Because his injury was so unique, doctors weren't sure how to fix it nor what type of rehab he needed to ensure a full recovery. Ultimately, he had 3 surgeries, and he admitted that the ordeal took a toll on him. He said, "No one knew what the protocol was for rehab. They basically had no plan to follow because it was sort of a unique injury." In a 2015 Instagram post Gubler shared of himself on crutches, he paid tribute to this difficult time in his life, writing, "I became a physical therapy pirate, conquered the impossible, and can now run faster than I could in high school. In this picture, I was calling myself to remind myself that I will never be beaten." The injury was a scary one, but in true Gubler fashion, the actor didn't take it too seriously. Gubler told Who's News that he was pretty certain his knee injury and its miraculous recovery would be recorded in some medical textbook for future generations to appreciate. But on a more serious note, added that he made the conscious decision to stay optimistic amid the injury. He explained, "I could take in the horrible reality or realize that I'm lucky it wasn't my right leg, because at least I can drive. Bad things happen. It's how you deal with it that makes it what it is."